So the Starfire I Jet 90, I'm going to completely set it up. The first thing I'm going to do is crank down that action, see how low I can get it. Because the frets on here seem like they were done a lot better than they were done on the S1, or the Starfire 1, excuse me. Original strings from the factory are still on it. That's what the owner said, and that's what I confirmed. There's no fret wear. So we're gonna start working on it and see what we can do with this baby. Okay, I made this little chart, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower the action low. I've got it a little bit low. I'm gonna lower it till certain frets really buzz, and I'm gonna write them all on here. I'll mark them all. Then afterwards, I'll use this and I'll address any high frets. This one is pretty good. The action's really low. This guitar is going to play like butter. You know, compared to that, remember when I did the Epiphone Les Paul Muse? It had 19 frets that were high in one spot or another. 19 out of 22. This one for sure, the 18 is really high. You know, but it looks, to me it looks like they're all put in all the way. So I'm going to get the neck. I'm going to take off 4 of the strings, loosen the other 2, get the neck as straight as I can because I don't have a neck jig, and then I'll start using my rocker. So here we are. Here's the high frets. They're not that high. There's a few little high frets. So I'm going to go get my hammer and a piece of wood like I did on the Muse, and I'm just going to tap them down and see if they go down. If not, I'll just sand them. Okay, for nobody that has seen my sandpaper holder, this is the way to do it. All your 320 is in there. All your 800 is in there. This is one of those things for your paperwork. But who says I can't use it for sandpaper? Nobody. So now I'm going to start. I've hammered it down, and I mean, it didn't make it perfect. It might not have made that much difference, but now I'm going to use my rocker. I'll sand between them and test it with the rocker until it doesn't rock anymore. So what I'm going to do is take this 400, and where it's marked that it's a little bit high, I'll lightly go over it. Then I'll test it. Almost gone. So once I get all these high spots done, then I'll just dress all the frets, and I'll know their level, so I don't have to use my, file, and I'll keep these frets as tall as I can. Actually, I need to measure them to see how tall they are. Here we go. Okay, all the high spots are gone. Most of them were not much. Hammering down on the frets didn't really do too much. Some frets will go down a bit and some frets won't. These weren't nearly as bad as that Epiphone Muse. So now I'll just dress them like I normally do and polish them. Okay, we went up to 2500 and now we're going to do a little polishing. Okay, I polished up to here, and these I haven't. Can you see the difference? When you're stringing up a Bixby, get yourself some needle nose and give them a little kink. Just string a little kink. Probably a lot of people know this trick, but if you're new to the Bixby, it makes it a lot easier to get the string on there. It'll stay on, and it's easier to get it on. So there we go. Okay, here's, I'm going to show you these split tuners, which are cool, kind of like the kind that were on Fender. I'm going to be doing the G, so I'm going to go up to about here. Right about 1, 2, about 3 up, maybe a little bit more for the G. Gotta hold the tension on the Bixby. Okay, or at least try to. Here we go. Probably could have gone a little shorter. But that doesn't matter. I mean, you can have a bunch of wraps as long as you stretch the strings good. They'll never stay in tune if you don't stretch those strings. Well, my guitar stay in tune because you didn't stretch the strings. Be a little easier on the lighter strings, but they need to get stretched too. Guitar will never, ever stay in tune without stretching your strings. Stretch them, people! I think I'm going to do the nut tomorrow. I'm tired. My eyes haven't been too great today. And I'm probably going to put some 9 to 42s on it. I just don't like these strings. I like 9 to 42s. Anyway, get back to this tomorrow. Okay, it's tomorrow. I'm going to finish off this nut. And probably put some 9 to 42s on this. I'm going to play it first with the 10s I have on here. It was the only 10s I have, 10 to 52. Yeah, I'm going to wait. I'll wait, set the nut, stretch the strings maybe a bit more, and I'll jam and see how I like those 10s. But chances are 9 to 42s with the scale length are what I like. So, here we go. Now when I do nuts, I use sandpaper. I don't have any nut files. And I have no problem. I've been doing it like this for 25 years. I mean, it would be faster if I had nut files. But I don't want to pay $130 for nut files. I can buy an awful lot of sandpaper. But you've got to learn how to roll the sandpaper. And you've got to be able to fold it. And as the strings get thicker, you fold it more. But you want to keep it the shape of the string round if possible. Not so much for like a 9. Doesn't really need, I mean, how round can it be for a 9? But basically I do 4, then I'll do 6, then I'll do 800. And the most important thing to do, just do a little at a time. Because once you go too far, it's too late. You know? So always check your work. Don't go too far. Check your work. And of course I'm gonna roll it down too. So this works for me. You may want to buy fret files. So here's where the action is right now. If anything, it might end up going up a tiny bit. But it's pretty low. This is a good neck on this guitar. Nice and straight. All right. So the nut is all done. Everything's looking good there. But now that the action's been significantly lowered, it's not at its final level yet. But look at the bridge pickup. It's just a little too high. And the only way to really adjust these pickups is to take the strings off, because this center screw takes the cover off, but then you have 4 more screws. Here I got this little string. I can hold it and I can figure out the height too. That's kind of a cool way to do it. Alright, I got the intonation set up. I'm going to put some dry graphite in the nut. Come on. Come on. Stuff does make a mess. You don't want to do it on your wife's new couch, because sometimes it'll like kind of stain cloth items. Okay, that's quite enough in there. Notice the tape. It keeps from scratching things up. A couple of these tuners are a little snug. Oh, that's an awful lot. Best way to get rid of it. So the setup is all done. Here's that pickup height adjustment. And here's the action. The neck is almost totally straight. It's dangerously close to being completely straight. Here's that nut. And there you have it. One Guild Starfire I Jet 90 setup.